Okay, so quite a bit has been done since the last video. I just wanted to stop and talk about the tongue and groove pine I'm installing here. The best way to install it, if you can, is to start like one length of it and then stagger it back like this so that you can go up multiple levels at a time. If you were to do a really long span like this, one layer at a time, you'll be moving back and forth over and over and over again, and it'll take a long time to set up your ladder and your equipment and stuff like that. So it's a lot more efficient this way. Installing the pine, I do really like it, but it was quite challenging with the amount of stuff in here to cut around. There's tons of electrical boxes and windows, a lot more than even in a large garage. A large garage might have a side and overhead door, or a couple windows, some electrical boxes along the floor, and that's pretty much going to be it. In here we probably have 75%, especially since we have a DC system, so we have electrical boxes as well for DC. We probably have 75% of the things to cut around as in a large house, but without the actual space. So a lot of cutting, a lot of trimming, quite time consuming, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end. I think it looks pretty good. The other thing I'd like to talk about is the floor I'm sitting on here. It's 11/16 cedar. It feels pretty good when you're up here sitting around. It's not super thick, but we're not really going to be walking around up here. There's not going to be more than 2 people up here at a time probably. So I think it's plenty strong, and I think it looks really nice, and it looks really nice from underneath as well. That was kind of why I decided to go with it and not with plywood or something like that. So that's the other thing I guess I can show you. Okay, so this was the other thing I wanted to talk about. This is fresh air intake for both the range and the wood stove that we're going to have. Basically you can't see it, but we'll go around and look at it in a second. There's a vent, intake vent on the other side of the wall, and then there's this foam partition, and basically the air comes in, goes down, there's a cold air trap down at the bottom here, and then it comes back up and out the vent here. And I'm going to have a register vent that goes in here. It's just a regular floor vent. And give you an idea what it'll look like. I might try to get one that's a little bit more airtight, but basically you just open and close it as you need fresh air. And that'll make sure that it keeps it nice and safe. We don't deplete the oxygen in here. Over here this is the exhaust for the range hood, and it's pretty short, but I have basically 2 sets of dampers. So there's one damper here in the wall, and then there's another set of dampers on the outside. But let's go look at that right now. You can see my cutting station here for the pine boards. Tried to do as much as I could outside so I don't get it too dusty in there at this point. It would be a little faster if I was cutting inside, but then I'd have to clean that all up before finishing work. So here on the wall, this is the fresh air intake. Basically we just cut this in with a hole saw, and this one doesn't have a damper or anything, because if we had a damper it wouldn't allow air in, and that's what we want. On that one, that's the second damper there, so that'll prevent drafts and breezes from pulling in into our range hood there. So, and basically I just went with low profile wall vents. They're pretty easy to find, just a regular hardware store has them. And I guess that's it. Alright, bye.